How do you know if your body needs to detoxify? In today's time, we have plenty of warning signs about toxicity and plenty of warning signs about why we need to detox. Okay, so let's talk about the warning signs and the need to detoxify ourselves. And you may have thought that I was coming to only talk to you about the reason why we set patterns around detoxification and around our life is because when you have a pattern, you're creating a habit. And if you have a pattern of every single night, you're going to get up from the couch and walk to the pantry or put your kids to bed and grab a drink or this or that, that is creating a habit. All right, so I want us to think about a pattern. What pattern can we create? What pattern can we break? And it's time to set the new pattern so that new pattern becomes the action of a good new habit. And setting those small goals to progress yourself toward the goals and the motivation that we created yesterday. Okay, yesterday, again, we were writing down those top 3 goals. We were getting very, very clear about the vision. But now we want to set the patterns that are going to help us continue to reach success toward that clear vision. And again, it's small steps. So I just had a meeting about an hour ago with a gentleman going over his food sensitivity results, the inflammatory response in his body. We had to get very clear about the signs and the symptoms. He rushes to the bathroom after eating a meal and has always considered that to be normal. That pattern, okay, that pattern and that habit. And he's like, so do you want me not to go to the bathroom? I'm like, no, if you need to go, you need to go. Like, that is the body's way of detoxifying. You're eating things that are not serving your body well, and your body's wanting to detoxify that and get rid of it. But no, we should not be going to the bathroom every time we eat. The reason it's harmful for our bodies is then our body's also not absorbing nutrition. Okay, so there's this vicious cycle of why we want to break these habits, these patterns. Sometimes they're ones that we consciously create, like going to the pantry or making that drink that I was talking about earlier. And sometimes they're ones that our body is like, nope, you got to go. And, so it's kind of unconscious, but our body is telling us, like, if not, you're going to be in trouble. All right. So whatever pattern or habit is, write that down for me. Okay. Put it in the comments section. What pattern or habit does your body require you to take, or does your body take because you've created that pattern that you want to break? All right. We can work on that together. Again, and even yesterday we talked about co-creating a plan. You need that accountability partner. Being a coach is so rewarding because I get to create and celebrate success, and I love that. Okay, but let me know what that is that you need to change. The second thing that you can do is stay away from temptations. Are there certain friends and family members that tempt you to lose your cool? Okay, like lose it. I told you we're not just going to talk about nutrition, but the liver stores anger. And when the liver is storing anger, the liver cannot detoxify anything appropriately. Okay, we've got to look at the whole big picture. So stop creating the temptations and stay away from the temptation that you know is going to trigger your body. All right, that can be food. That's why I love looking at food sensitivity tests. It can be hormones. It can be an imbalance in hormones that are triggering those negative causes and implications and symptoms. And we need to take care of that. It can be relationships. It can be many, different habits, but set a goal to get back away from those. All right. Don't let it's okay. Either you're going to back away from it. That's what I love to say. Like, either you're going to back away from it or it's going to set you back. And you've got to decide which way you want to go. And how bad do you want to be successful at breaking the new habits and forming new ones? You've got to create that strength to remove the temptations from your life and create the strength to continue to move forward. So like I mentioned, that can be people, it can be the food, it can be habits, it can be so many different things. But you've got to have the mindset and the strength to continue to move forward. Then find good, new, healthy habits. All right, on a food sensitivity test, when I test 190 foods, you're given a list of foods that do not serve your body well. But even if there's 20, which is a pretty high amount, you have 170 things that are going to serve your body very well. Okay, this is creating the new habit. You have 170 choices. Create that new habit. You have lots of people in your life. Decide who to spend the most time with, the people that are going to serve you well, the people that are going to give you good influences, that are going to be there to support you when you're creating new habits. They're not going to be the ones to tempt you to go back to the old habit. Those are the people that you've got to cut out of your life. But the best thing about, like, the number one tip that I can give you toward all of these choices is being prepared. You have to have a sense of preparedness. So if you're going out to dinner with friends and you know it's a place where there's not a lot of things on the menu, then you eat a snack first so you're not tempted to go and indulge. Or if you're going to a party where there's going to be alcoholic beverages and you don't need the sugar to ruin your success along the pathway, then you pack something that's bubbly or fruity or, just satisfying, so you're not tempted to turn to the bubbly, fruity drinks that are there, that are full of sugar, that are going to spike your sugar, that are going to mess up your metabolic regulation and send you back into metabolic dysregulation. We want to have you prepared for moving into success, to moving into those new habits that you're creating. And then the last thing that, the last huge tip before we do get into nutrition is I want you to know that you need to love yourself. All right, love yourself enough to make the new habits become important enough to stay the path. And yesterday I mentioned to you, not every day is going to look glamorous. Some days are going to be harder than others, and you need to have the encouragement and the desire, your vision has to be big enough to help you stay that hard path when the days are daunting, hard, long, dark, all of those things. But love yourself enough to break the bad habits, to create new ones, to give yourself that motivation and the desire to keep going, to stop damaging your body with foods that are not serving your body well. Love yourself enough to understand that you need to hold on to the nutrition and hold on to that so you can have proper absorption. And stop and think about the decisions that you are tempted to make and ask yourself why and how. How is this going to affect me? Why would I do this? What are the implications that will result afterwards? Ask yourself all those questions before you fall back and make those mistakes. Make the choice to make the changes and stick to the desires to achieving those. And even when it's hard. All right, again, have I pushed any buttons? Have I had a light bulb go off and somebody's like, oh my gosh, I have to stop this. I have to start making yourself a priority. Who has said that since I've been talking? I know one thing for me, I'll show y'all what I've got here. I'll stop and exit. But I have switched over from coffee to tea. All right, so that's just something small. It's very small. I do have a cup of coffee in the morning, very organic, very small, very clean. Have even started grinding my own beans, and then I switch over to tea. I just like something warm to drink, so it helps with my body temperature, especially this time of year. But I like something warm to drink. So don't feel that you have to give up the things that bring you pleasure. All right, well, you can find things to switch it around. All right, how do you know if your body needs to detoxify? Well, surely to goodness, you know if the anger sets in when you're around a particular person. And if it's been there for a while, let me say we need to detoxify your liver because the liver holds on to anger. But a good rule of thumb suggests that everyone should detoxify at least once a year. And that's why I always bring in detoxification when I'm talking about New Year's and getting into a new year. It is a great time to just reset the brain, reset the body, and detoxify from the inside out. I actually have a detoxification program, and it goes through every system of the body. It goes through the brain, it goes through the spinal cord, the immune system, your lymphatic system, the kidneys, the liver, and the GI. It goes through all those body systems. It opens up your pathways, and it allows the body to push out the negativity, to push out the toxicity. And in today's time, we have plenty of warning signs about toxicity and plenty of warning signs about why we need to detox. Now, first of all, I'm going to put a caveat on detoxification. So if you are a nursing mother or have a degenerative, I was about to not say that, a degenerative disease or something, you want to make sure that you detoxify under the care of someone else. There's so many programs, there's so many products, I'll just say products. There's tons of products out there that can lead you down this detoxification pathway, but without being able to clearly see warning signs where we need to halt and pull back and rest and let the body rest, it can be dangerous. Okay, so make sure that you're under the care of a coach, of a physician, and you're getting some oversight and care in detoxification. Some of the warning signs real quick. All right, some of the common signs of toxicity: headaches. All right, headaches are a huge sign of toxicity. I already mentioned anger, menstrual cycle problems, things just aren't regulated, hormones being all off track, mental confusion, bloating, the bloating and the inflammation, the puffiness, just waking up and feeling puffiness around the eyes, the dark circles around the eyes. If you have dark circles or anything like that, kidneys, we need to detoxify your kidneys. Bodily systemic infections, allergies, irritated skin, sluggish elimination, like if you're not eliminating properly, constipation. Okay, so the body's form of detoxification is poop. All right, and I love talking about poop. All right, GI, specialized in GI, so I talk about poop, I talk about constipation, I talk about blood there, I talk about going too often, not going enough, all of the above. The body's natural form of detoxification is going poop. If you're going too much, your body's not absorbing the nutrients and you need to slow things down. If you're going too often, well, that is too often. If you're not going often enough, then we need to talk about why. Your body is not detoxifying. Your body has a risk of having too much toxins in the body. So really regulating the process of going enough, but not too much, all of those things are really critical when we're talking about detoxification. Some of you will experience more than one of those symptoms. All right, some of you, I mentioned things and you're like, every single one of them, you're raising your hand. And that is not uncommon. It is not uncommon once you get the inflammatory response inside the body for the cells to hold on to the toxins. And when the toxins release, they can absorb into the fat cells because your kidney and your liver pathways are not open to properly detoxify. The other way that your body will detoxify is through the sweat and through the sweat glands. All right, so exercising and sweating, very natural. You need that for detoxification. You need your kidney and your liver pathways open so you're properly peeing and pooping the toxins out. Otherwise, things are staying in your body way too long and absorbing in places they don't need to absorb. So let's talk a little bit about toxicity, because we oftentimes talk about one process but not the other. One process that came and hit me very upside the head when we first started our health and wellness journey was that of histamines. We had always looked at antihistamines, but not the histamine component. And when you take an antihistamine, that's, people usually think of Benadryl and other medications, but then it's like, well, what's the flip side of that? And I never really looked at that. Same way we look at detoxification. We want to look at the toxicity portion of it first. Where are the toxins coming out? We want to remove those from our body, so as we detox, we're not continuously pumping new toxins in and creating this vicious cycle of always needing to detox. But our substances around us right now, everything from makeup, shampoo, conditioner, lotions, deodorants, food, the things that you're cleaning your home with, the laundry soaps, the Febreze, the fabric softeners, anything with that strong fragrance, the candles. All of these items can be extremely toxic in our environment. Also, our food is sprayed with toxins and chemicals and Roundup. The metal toxicity in our medical industry is completely toxic. Now, there's two different medical distinctions of toxicity. One is acute and one is chronic. But the acute toxicity, it involves harmful effects in an organism through a single or short-term exposure. Now, a lot of us right now, like you may walk into like right now at Christmas time is what I was thinking, everybody has the candles and the sprays and they all want it to smell all cinnamon and pumpkin and all that. Now that's just a single exposure. But when you're living in your home and you're cleaning your home with toxic products, that becomes a chronic exposure, a chronic toxicity. The same thing goes for when we're constantly putting on the lotions, the shampoos, the conditioners, when our pores are open and pulling that toxin in. That chronic exposure can really affect your entire life. It can affect your body systems, your hormones. It's an endocrine disruptor. It can affect your thyroid, all of those. But it really comes down to where we need to remove the impurities from the blood and the liver and get a proper form of elimination. I've already mentioned poop, but also you excrete toxins as you breathe, you remove them as you sweat, you breathe them in. I mean, there's just all the pathways of having your body systems open and ready to detoxify, but you want to stop the toxins coming in. So you also eliminate toxins through your kidneys, your intestines, your lungs, your lymphatic system. We'll talk about dry brushing and stimulating the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is the only system in your body that does not pump itself. So you really need to look at ways of stimulating the lymphatic system. And then we've mentioned the detoxing through the skin. So we already said that anger is stored in the liver and you want to really pay close attention to that. But as we're continuously bombarded with chemicals and environmental issues, our body's elimination process starts to slow down. All right, and maybe that's not your poop, but maybe it's other body systems. Maybe it's your hormones that start to slow down. I know a lot of people who are battling with hormonal dysregulation. Your thyroid dysregulation and detoxification is about resting those body systems. It's about cleansing those body systems and then nourishing the body from the inside out. And you've got to continue to remove those, continue to eliminate those from your environment. So the goal of any detox program that you do start is to help boost the body's natural cleansing process. So the natural cleansing process that I mentioned would continue to work in a very beautiful way after we open those pathways and after we let the body come into a state of detoxification. So you want to rest the organs, you want to stimulate the liver to drive the toxins out of the body. You want to promote elimination through the intestines, the kidneys, and the skin. You want to make sure you're drinking enough water so your kidneys are flushing on a regular basis. And we want to solve any chronic constipation that you have going on or just constipation. And then you want to sweat through your skin. You want to improve circulation of the blood. So if you have like cold extremities or any numbness, those are circulation issues. Those are some more warning signs. And then we want to refuel the body with healthy nutrition. Okay. All right. Food intolerance release. All right. If your body is intolerant to foods, you want to get those out. But detoxing is not a new discovery. The thing that's beautiful about detoxing is that we have new ways of testing, new ways of getting to the bottom, to the root of your toxicity issues. Some things that you can visually see with proper detoxification is clear skin. And the food sensitivity issues will start to decrease. As our body becomes less toxic, your body will have less responses. You will have weight loss. All right. Weight loss happens extremely easy when the body is not inflamed and when that inflammation is not holding on to toxins. Your immune system is then able to thrive. You get less cravings throughout the day. And your sense of well-being, the mood in the brain, you start to have clearer thinking, clearer processing, the elimination of waste, you have more energy. There's so much that happens when the body starts to detoxify appropriately and things start to work in a very holistic manner within your body. So taking a look at toxic foods, there's some obvious external factors that I've already mentioned of chemicals in clothing and furniture and cleaning supplies. Like, you got to look at everything. And that's why when I talk about sleep, a lot of you will hear me say you should sleep naked, because there's less chemicals rubbing on your skin the entire time that you're sleeping. But the chemicals coming in, we've talked about like getting a clean product to clean your home with. If you need some good recommendations, let me know. Okay, but food-like substances, all those things sprayed with Roundup. You want to get some clean, pesticide-free food. The top offenders on our food list are sugar. Number one is sugar. Very, very chemical-laden process when it's going through bleach and it's processed. But and then your artificial sweeteners, your sugar substitutes, are often very, very toxic. Gluten is very toxic. The process that is gone through to make our bread, as well as caffeine. Caffeine stimulates the body and it prevents the body from having natural processes to create energy. Dairy is very toxic. You can also have meat that is extremely toxic. Think about the antibiotics that are being fed to our animals. The hormones that are being fed to them to grow fast and more money, okay? And we oftentimes know that when we ourselves are taking an antibiotic, that we need to come in with a probiotic to help with our gut dysbiosis and the breakdown caused by the antibiotic. Well, think about the meat that's coming into our body that is constantly fed those antibiotics. Processed foods, boxed foods, not real foods, all right? We can put everything in that processed food category. And then soda, Coke, Dr. Pepper, all of those. Very, very toxic, very full of sugars and syrups and dyes, and the list goes on and on with a can of Coke. I cannot even. So there are a number of adverse health outcomes that are associated with the foods that I've mentioned in a toxic form. Now you can get clean meat, and that's why I say those foods in a toxic form. You can get clean products, but you need to be aware of how to shop and how to get those products. And that's what I like to hold your hand with and help you along that process. But if you continue to ignore the toxicity, the cardiovascular disease is high on that list. I cannot tell you the number of people that come to me with high blood pressure, high cholesterol, cardiovascular issues. And once we go through detox, once we open the liver pathways, it's done. I mean, usually within weeks, guys. It's not a hard process. It is just making the commitment and sticking with it. Diabetes, type 2 diabetes is not, it is something that happens after you make lifestyle changes or after you make lifestyle choices. It may be something that is hereditary for you, and you may feel that you're predispositioned to get it, but it's whether or not you cut that light switch on or keep it off. Obesity is oftentimes a symptom. It is not the cause of your chronic illness. It is a symptom of an underlying chronic illness that is not being taken care of. Cancer can come in as a chronic condition when the cells are under a toxicity environment. And osteoporosis. So how do we know that processed foods are bad? Every time a population adopts the Western diet that is high in processed foods, that population gets sick. I mean, oftentimes we go and we're like, oh, let me give you this because y'all are all starving. But it doesn't help the society, not at all. They are very full of chemical processed ingredients. A lot of refined sugar, refined ingredients, artificial substitutions. It's just not a diet that is very holistic or wholesome or nutritious. Items that you need to look for on those ingredient lists: the sugar, the high fructose corn syrup, preservatives, colorants, flavor additives. If it just says like flavor, anything can be in there. A lot of binders and texturants are in there, and they come in and they spike the blood sugar and the insulin levels. And during that process, your immune system has been basically crushed. Your immune system is not working during these spikes and these dips in our blood sugar. It makes the immune system hard to come in and fight for the body. So there also can be very high amounts of salt, sugar, and unhealthy fats in the processed food. And I am one that I love good, healthy fats. So I'm only talking about those unhealthy fats. When you go through and decrease the sugar intake and really focus on detoxification, there are like huge results that are seen, like I said, very quickly. The blood pressure is always like, I love getting text messages like 2 weeks in, and I'm like, they're like, I lost 12 pounds and my blood pressure is normal. And I'm like, hallelujah, here we go again. Okay, because then we're seeing success. Then we know things are working. We know things are on a that you're not continuing to hit a path of resistance. So your energy levels increase, your gas and your bloating decrease. Taking the refined sugars out, like I mentioned, that those are one of the most harmful ingredients. And sometimes those are considered, like in some places of the world, what we consider sugar is considered a poison or a narcotic. But there's a lot of research going on about how those degrade our cellular activity, how the sugar goes in and degrades cellular activity. I mentioned cancer before. That is a disease of the cells. All right, and it can really accelerate aging and lead to DNA damage. So it's really important when you're looking at donuts and cakes and sugar to know that those are the choices that you are making, that you can make a choice though to cut those out of your diet or make those a treat, a monthly treat. But non-toxic foods, it's important to focus on those too. All right, stevia, green vegetables, fruit, water, vitamins, legumes, your nuts, your seeds, your herbal teas. These things can come in and nourish the body so you're not constantly being inundated with toxic foods. You can fill your pantry with the foods that are good for you. Now, I love to do food sensitivity testing, so you, again, have that huge long list of food that can come in and nourish your body. But it can take a good detox program can take anywhere from 3 days to a month. I have one that takes you through, it's a good homeopathic detox. It takes you through 2 weeks of a good detox where it's opening the pathways, like I mentioned, the liver, the kidneys. And then it continues for another 40 days to continue to detoxify the body systems that I had previously mentioned, your brain, your spinal cord, your lymphatic system, kidneys, liver, immune system, and it's continuously allowing those body systems to cleanse. Sometimes fasting programs where it allows the organs to work can help, but only for extreme situations and short-term durations, because it really, we want to focus also on long-term results and your metabolic success. So you can bring in like smoothies and, good fruit and veggie detoxes and juice cleanse, but you want to make sure that it's all allergy friendly for you. And that's why I like to test first. So to get started, you can, before getting started on any program, I said, like going back to yesterday, create that clear vision and goal. Sometimes that means going in front of the mirror and measuring yourself. All right. If weight's a big issue, that's it. Or journaling, so you have an idea of like, I'm only sleeping 2 hours at a time right now, I'm waking up tired, and then reverse that. All right, reverse that. So I'll wake up energetic, I'm still energetic throughout the day, I'm not hitting my 2 or 3 o'clock slump, and then continue to look back at that to stay motivated. But again, proper preparation. I want you to think about your pantry right now. Okay, when you come out of the Christmas holiday, you typically come out with a pantry that doesn't have a ton of day-to-day food because you've been focused on holiday cooking, holiday, if you like to host other people at your house and have holiday entertaining is what I was going to say. Now, be careful around all of that because it will have the toxicity sneak up on you. But usually coming out of the holiday, you're sitting there with pies and cakes and like appetizers that need to be thrown away. Okay. When you start fresh is a perfect time to prepare your pantry for success. Okay. Get the toxic stuff out, get the processed foods out, and make sure that you are fully stocked with everything you need to start a detoxification process, to allow your body to have some proper eating choices, some good healthy snacks, some good healthy meals. And that way you avoid the pitfalls of going back. Sometimes that looks like food preparation, having baby cucumbers, which makes me think, I think my child ate those today. I put them in his lunch and they were not in there when he came home, so I'll have to ask him about that. But the ticket to that is putting pink Himalayan salt on them. All right, and just enhancing that flavor and having that good electrolyte balance in the body as well. But making those choices so you have food on hand or have choices on hand, to where those new habits are easy to maintain, easy to keep. Another thing that I would recommend to have in your home is glass containers. So if you still have a Christmas wish list to give somebody, get rid of the Tupperware, get rid of the plastic, and have glass containers to store your food in. You can have meal prep to where you prep a stack of your glass snackware containers and put some in the freezer so throughout the week it's not a constant burden to eat clean. Sometimes we take those, if we're on the road, we take them and stop at a gas station and use their microwave to heat those up. Again, preparation. It doesn't have to always look the way society has made us pretend that it needs to look. We will stop and buy gas, stop and go in and use the restroom. I'll get a water or something inside, to let them know, but we'll use the microwaves. Usually a lot of gas stations have microwaves right there near the coffee bar, and heat up our own food. And, some of us require that, but I don't require it, but I feel much better when I do stay on target. So if I'm wanting to go hiking, feel energetic, have a good mood, a good head on my shoulders, then it serves me well to stay on track and I will say that I get so moody when my blood sugar is not regulated. And a lot of that comes from, metabolic dysregulation, hormone dysregulation, and definitely my food. And then digestion. Staying the course so your digestion is on the proper track. You can wake up every morning and have warm lemon water as a source of drinking and detoxifying. I like to use essential oils that are safe for oral consumption. We actually use a brand from Young Living called Lemon Vitality that is extremely safe. It detoxifies in the body. Lemon goes in and it breaks down anything that's not natural. So if there's toxicity in the body, it helps with that and it helps aid in digestion. You can also drink it at night. So it's helping break down food and helps with the digestion overnight and as you sleep. And then you can drink chilled lemon water throughout the day. It's a very refreshing drink. I hear from a lot of people that they don't like the flavor of water. And let me tell you, some restaurants that we go to, their water is awful. I keep a bottle of lemon and lime in my bag, in my purse. They're real small. And can add those to water to kind of hide the taste of water. But water can also be very toxic, so be careful. Bottled water can as well. Like Fuji was not a bottle of water that tested out well. But Kroger Simple Truth water tested phenomenal. So there's a little tip for you. The most expensive things are not always the best, but stick with a good source. So when you're having a smoothie of some sort, you can pack it with all kinds of healthy ingredients. Your fiber, your nutrition, your spinach, your chia seeds and strawberries. But let me tell you something. If you have a histamine issue, a problem with histamines in your body, and this is where coming in and working with a coach is so beneficial, spinach and strawberries are both high in histamine. I used to my body would go into fits if I would eat a spinach salad that had strawberries on it. And I had to figure that out. I had to figure out why. I can work with you on that. So bottom line here is, from yesterday to today, create the vision that your body needs help. Your body needs the process of healing. It needs a new start, just a whole renewed outcome in 2022. but paint the picture that's going to create that emotion. All right. And create the feeling that you don't want to give up. Those are the things that are going to continue to keep you motivated and help you stay on the right track. And I want to be here to help you. So please message me. Please comment below. Let me know how I can help you. Because it may be food, it may be hormones, it may be autoimmune conditions, it may be GI issues, all right? The irritable bowel disease, the Crohn's, the colitis. Guys, we've got this, okay? I help people every single day overcome the signs and the symptoms and put these things to rest. We oftentimes hear of cancer being put in remission. And let me tell you, all these other things can be put in remission too. We just want to quiet the body, give the body time to rest, and then move forward. So let me know how I can help you. Creating that vision and that roadmap is so important so you can stay on track for success. And I promise we will get there. All right, have a good evening, and we'll talk to you later.